Fisher. I'm the co-host of Friday Night Talks, and Chris Wade, your host, will join us lately. Tonight we have something beautiful to share with everyone. It just one moment here. So we've got something tonight provocative for the soul, as we always promise. And a good friend of mine I've known over 40 plus years. I don't know if I should say that, but I've known
It
over
is
40
what it
plus.
is.
It is what it is. How about that? Uh, long time friend. But God has done some amazing things, and her name is April Wright. In fact, I even know her middle name, April Marnay Wright. And she's on with us tonight. Some really special things are happening in the Bay Area around playwrights, and amazing. She's got a legacy of music and plays, activism in the community. So many layers and levels we're going to unpeel tonight. So without much ado, let me introduce our audience to April. Will you just say good evening to us, April?
Good evening to all of you. It is a pleasure and an honor to be on this platform with you all. It's more than I could have imagined. So thank you for the invitation.
Well, the invitation has so much to do with what's happening with you. And, there are people, you meet people all the time, and they say they want to follow their dreams or they want to accomplish this thing. You're actually one of those people who is actually accomplishing things. And you've got a message that goes out into the world. You've got a base of people who follow you, who attend your events, whatever those events are. You come from a great family, the Burrises and the Wrights. You're from a great community, and you've just connected with people over the years, and we're happy to have you come on. And we want to just talk a little bit about what's happening right now in terms of your show. And I know I'm going to mess this up. Chicken chitlins and caviar.
There you go.
Did I get that right?
That's it.
Okay, I get the star on my uniform going home today.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us how that all started. How did you come up with that name first?
Whew. Well, I'll tell you how it started, and then I'll go into how we got to the name. So it was three of us, Verlin Sandals,
Oh yeah.
Henrietta Davis, and myself. And we were all at KPFA Radio Studios back in 2016. It was for a Black History Month event, and Emmett Powell had asked Verlin and Henrietta to come in. Well, I was already Emmett's co-host. And so he said, you know what? I got three sopranos in here this morning. 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And so he says, why don't you all give me a song?
In the studio?
In live, on air, in studio. And so we all looked at each other because it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's warmed up. Ain't nobody singing at 7 in the morning. And so Henrietta says, I'm taking the bottom. And so Verlin and I looked at each other like, who gonna sing the top at 7? And Verlin said, I'll take top. So I took the middle. We just did a verse and a chorus of a hymn. Verlin says, just think what we could do with a little rehearsal. That is how it started. And from there, we were just going to do a concert at a local church. And then as we started talking about what we wanted to do, we realized that we wanted to add some jazz and some blues, and that probably wouldn't sit well with too many pastors. So then we started looking for outside venues. And just as I was getting ready, I found a venue, and just as I was getting ready to sign the contract for rental, they said, well, what's the name of your production? And Henrietta said, anything but divas. We can't do that. That's overdone. We're not doing that anymore.
Ah,
So I got on the phone with my then husband and I said, look, I got to come up with a name. I'm not quite sure what we're going to call this, but we're doing multiple genres of African American music. And so that's how the name Chicken, Chitlins, and Caviar came about, because we use food as the metaphor to describe the genres of music.
oh, very unique. And also, it it's tied to the African American community. You know,
Exactly.
these are in African American culture delicacies, we call them.
Well, what is culture? Culture is food,
Yep.
it's music,
Right.
it's clothing,
Yep.
it's language.
Right. Right.
And so we just use elements of our culture to describe what it is we do.
Amazing. Beautiful. And are the original members, are they still working with you?
No, well, Verlin and I are still in contact. Verlin was in last year's show. And last year she said, April, she said, I need an understudy. She said, I'm 83
Uh,
and I need an
yeah.
understudy. So we brought in another young lady to work with us last year, Renona Wesley.
Uh-huh.
And so I am now the only original lady of Chicken, Chitlins, and Caviar that is still active with the show.
My goodness. My, what? Let's talk about, you know, some of the intrinsics with the show. You know, we first were talking about culture. You know, does every show align with the culture of African American people, or are we exploring other cultures as well, or how we interface with other cultures? Tell me a little bit about that, the cultural part of the show, because I mean, just that title is alone, the production title, the name
Mhm.
of it is something that would interest me. But tell me a little bit about the cultural elements in the show. There's singing, and go ahead.
Yeah, so it is a musical review, which means there's music, there's theatrical elements, and there's dance. I also add multimedia. So all of those elements come about to bring the show to the stage.
Uh-huh.
I am a, I wouldn't exactly say a keeper, but I am a person that likes to highlight African American culture. I have a particular affinity to spirituals
Yeah.
and hymns.
Yeah.
And I've done community theater for over 30 years. And so all of that has come together to make Chicken, Chitlins, and Caviar what it is. And my goal is to expose other cultures to our culture in a palatable way. Be able to tell about our struggles, our hardships, our joys, our faith, all of that within the confines of a musical experience, because music will draw people when nothing else will.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And other cultures are curious about us. And when we present who we are in an excellent fashion on a stage where there's music that is familiar to multiple cultures,
Mm-hmm.
it helps to get the message across.
Mm-hmm. And this, what year is this for the production?
This is our 5th year. We started in 2016. 2017 was our first show.
Mm-hmm.
COVID impacted the continuity of the run, but
Mm-hmm.
this is our actual 5th show. And so we're calling it our 5th anniversary show.
Okay, so it started maybe 7 years ago, or
Correct.
okay, and then you brought it to, so the cast over the years, the cast has, I guess, increased, huh?
No, we still have three principal singers, three ladies, three principal singers. And then we've always had a gentleman who's been a part of our cast. So our core cast has remained the same.
Uh-huh.
We have five, typically five band members, and we have three background vocalists.
Oh, okay. Well, what I did come, maybe it was the first year. I came maybe the first year, and you sang a song there toward the end. I remember, and but there was also some acting in there.
Yes,
Okay,
those are the
okay.
theatrical elements. That's what makes it a musical review as opposed to a play or a musical. So,
I
in the theatrical pieces, that's where we tell the story of a theme. Even though it's called Chicken Chillins and Caviar, every year, every show is different.
hmm
Um, so last year's theme was resistance and protest. And so we had theatrical scene that depicted protesting and resistance as it relates to some of the things that are happening within our society with the erasure of who we are.
hmm
This year's theme is about faith, knowing
Okay.
that it's going to take faith to help us get through all of the vicissitudes of life.
Yeah. Right. Oh my.
Miss April, I don't, can you guys hear me? You guys hear me okay?
Yes,
Okay, I can hear
Yes.
y'all. Most importantly, I can hear you guys. Hello,
Okay.
Miss April. I am so sorry. So sorry for
it's
that
quite all
technical
right.
difficulty. Thank God for my co-host, my teammate, Pastor Fisher. I got a question. You said that the play started about 7 years ago. I want to go back to how did this, if Pastor Fisher hasn't already asked you, how did this develop? How did you start putting your pen to a piece of paper or a napkin? I want to hear the origin and how you started writing. I want to know how this was birthed. How did this conceive?
Well, it's kind of all, I don't want to say it's been organic, but it's been a process. It did not always, because I never considered myself a playwright or a person that could write a script. I knew I wanted to tell a story, and it started like that.
Mhm.
The music, that's who I am. I've been singing since I was 8 years old. Started at the North Richmond Missionary Baptist Church
Hmm.
under the pastorate of the late Reverend C.W. Newsom. So I've been singing my whole life. Um, Went to college, music was my minor, but got involved with theater, and that expanded that whole world. So it was musical theater. And then when I started to see how these things were put together,
Hmm.
and then I realized there was a story that I wanted to tell, the music came easy because music is the soundtrack of the African American life. And you can find any theme to go with any portion of our lives, and
Hmm.
there is music to speak to that. And then when we start talking about some historical figures, this year we're going to be telling the story of two figures in the Harlem Renaissance.
Okay.
And I don't know if I want to say who they are, but when I wanted to tell the story, I thought about the conversation that would
Mhm.
occur. And that's how I start to write the dialogue for those theatrical scenes.
Okay. What I'm sure it wasn't smooth. I'm sure you balled up a lot of pieces of paper and threw it in the trash and had a bunch of ideas. What did you do to stay encouraged through this whole process just before opening night of the very first show? What did you do to stay encouraged? What obstacles did you face that?
Well, okay. So First of all, I have an extremely supportive family. My family has supported every single endeavor I have even dared to begin. And so that has always been almost like a safety net for me.
Mhm.
But in addition to that, primarily, it has taken a lot of prayer,
Mhm.
a lot of, hmm, I don't know how to actually say it, but spending time in the face of God so that I can hear from him. Because sometimes I'll have an idea
Mhm.
and I'll put it on paper, start to develop it, and we'll hit a roadblock. If I can't move past that roadblock, then I know that's not his direction. And so then I'll step back, pray about it. It may take a week, 2 weeks, a month before I hear um, the direction that I'm supposed to go in. It can be nerve-wracking because I'm on a deadline,
Mhm.
unmovable deadline. These dates are, and when I'm quiet and I hear from him in some of the most unconventional ways. It can be through a conversation with someone. I could be, as my family calls it, the committees will meet. So I'll wake up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning with these ideas, and it's like, oh, let me get this down, let me get this down. So it has been a wonderful journey. It has tested my faith. Because I know that if he's given me this vision, he'll make the provision, but I have to wait for it sometimes. And so that's been, I think, my biggest struggle is growing in my faith and trusting that what he has given me, he's going to bring it to fruition.
Wow, that's powerful. So it sounds like patience in there. We have this great
Mhm.
idea that we want to pursue, and we see the outcome. We see how we want it to turn out, and yet, oh, it's not ready yet, or this isn't ready, or that isn't ready. So, so God is using patience, using this your roadblocks as patience. And I love that how you say that you include prayer into
Oh,
into this and your faith in writing this. I think it's wonderful. I think it's needed, and I think people need to hear that prayer is the engine, if
oh
you will,
yeah.
that gets things going. And what have you learned about God in this journey, just with the play? What has God revealed Himself to you about?
That his promises are yes and amen. And that if he said it, if he gave it to you, trust him. I
Mm,
mean, trust him.
mhm,
Even when it looks like, because I have been at points over the course of these 5 shows
mhm,
where I was like, Lord, should I pull the plug? Because it
mhm.
doesn't seem like it's working out. Are you saying no this year? What are you saying? So I have learned faith on a different level. Um, Doing this is not for the faint of heart,
Mhm.
because it's almost like he will. I had told a friend of mine last year, I said, I really believe the Lord is trying to see how much pressure before I start spitting diamonds. It was one thing after another. And he was like, you just got to trust me. And so, what I have come to understand is while I may have an idea of how it's supposed to go and who is supposed to be a part of the show, he knows better
Mhm.
who is supposed to be a part of the show. And each year, the show gets larger, the vision gets larger, different people come on board, and they are there for varied reasons. We start every rehearsal with prayer. We do not end and leave until we've had prayer. We begin every show with prayer. It is, uh, this whole venture is slathered in prayer. That's just how we operate.
Oh, that's fantastic. And with that, you mentioned all the people that come on board, and sometimes we get caught up in what God is doing in our lives, and we forget and don't realize that He uses other people to, that He's reaching out to other people through what He has given us. And how have you seen, maybe the growth in others while through this whole process, and how He has, like, wow, I didn't see that connection, or I never would have thought me and that person would have connected,
Yeah.
and just the people, that people connection. How have you seen that work?
I was just having that conversation today with a gentleman who is my videographer.
Hmm.
The very first choreographer we had, Jennifer Frazier, a wonderful young woman. She has now gone on to Broadway. She's doing, she did Soul Train, the musical here in San Francisco. And they asked her, "Do you want to come to New York?" And, and she was like, "Miss April, I'm so sorry. I can't do." I said, "Please go. This is your dream." So this show has allowed people the freedom to not just utilize their talents for this show, but it has also been a platform for others to do much larger things.
Hmm.
And then some of the people that I have, I mean, I have an amazing team. My director, Terrence Ivory, he's got his master's in fine arts. He teaches African American theater at the college. My videographer is a cinematographer who does film. Um, the people who I could not have put a team like this together on my own. I couldn't have done it. It's
Wow. Yeah.
it's the Lord. I mean, me?
Yeah. So to someone out there, that young lady, that young man that's got that seed planted in them, thinking that, hey, I would like to write, or I would like to be on stage, what would you recommend that they do? How would you tell them to water that idea?
Step out on faith, believe that you can do what you want to do. Cover it in prayer and seek the Lord. Because just because it's something we want to do does not mean it's the best thing for us.
Hmm.
But I mean, if you've got the dream to do it, the graveyard is full of people who had dreams and they never even stepped out to even try to see if it's something that was possible for them. Um, Network.
Hmm.
If you are an actor or you're an aspiring actor, get involved in community theater. That's where you start to build your connections. If you're a writer, go to community theater, present a work to a director or to a theater producer and say, "Hey, how can you help me edit this?" Or, who can I talk to get this in front of someone?
Hmm.
It really is about relationships.
Wow. So this play happens, what, once a year? Is it
It's
at
a
once a year?
musical review.
Musical review, excuse me. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah, musical review once a
Yes.
year. So that you start preparing for the musical review when? So it's July. When do you start preparing for it?
Oh, that is an interesting question. So, meaning rehearsals or the concept idea?
Both.
Okay. So I'll start with the easy part. I typically start rehearsing 4 to 5 months prior to a production.
Okay.
The process is we start with the music first,
Mm.
and we make sure that the singers are comfortable with the music first, and then we start adding layers. So once we have the music down cold, then we'll start with some of the dance, because for singers, lyrics go with legs. So we associate movement with where you are in the lyric in the song. So once we get the music down, we start with the dance, and then we go to the theatrical elements for your stage blocking, your entrances, your exits, where you are spatially on stage, the other elements that are on stage with you. So those things happen. And then we start to pull everything together, I guess about the last month.
Mm.
We start having full rehearsals, full band rehearsals with all of the singers, background vocalists, dancers, everything all in full go about 3 to 4 weeks prior to opening. The concept process for me varies. Once this show closes, if we are not asked to come to another theater to actually stage it or something, I'll take a couple of months to just kind of, decompress a little bit. But I usually start about 6 to 8 months prior to rehearsal beginnings
Mm.
to start looking for the concept for the next year's show.
Okay, so it sounds like this is a year-around process. It's not just those 2 days and how
Oh,
many
no.
ever
Oh,
minutes
no,
the
no,
running
no.
time is for the show. This is a year-round thing. And I,
Yes.
and I'm glad you mentioned, kind of stepping away. I want to ask you about that. What do you do to decompress, to step away, to recharge? And how important is that for you?
Well, for me, I'm an introvert.
Okay.
So I recharge in silence. So I may just go to in my house, in my room, and just shut down. I'm also a reader, so I will start to read, you know, things from my book club just to kind of, decompress. And then sometimes I'll just take a vacation and get away, get some fresh thought, new perspective, new environment, which would kind of, sometimes spark new ideas for the next year's show.
Oh, wonderful.
So
So,
it is essentially important,
mhm.
because if you are constantly going, the other thing that happens is you can't really hear from the Lord because you're too busy. And sometimes you need to slow down, calm down, and allow his still, quiet voice to speak.
Wow, that's powerful. That is powerful. So, but you're not only, you're not. This is not your only project. I mean, you are on the radio, right?
Yes,
KPFA 94.1, if my memory serves me correctly.
that is it. Every
Okay.
Saturday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. with the
Oh,
gospel experience.
how did you get that? I know I know singing and all that stuff is a part of you and a part of your growing up, but how did you get there?
That was a case of being in the right place at the right time.
Okay.
Um, Person had a book. Emmett said, "Oh, bring him in. I'd like to interview." Well, I had already had a working relationship with Emmett Powell. So we came in to the station and he said, "Do you by any chance type?" I said, "I'm an executive assistant. If I can't type, we've got a problem." And so he said, "My co-host has been censored by the FCC and they're off the air, and I need somebody to help me with my reporting. Because every time a song is played on the air, it goes to a reporting system so that artists can get their royalties." So I'm typing away all this music for a 3-hour show.
Mm.
And so then he says, what you doing next Saturday? I said, next Saturday? He says, yeah, she's gonna be off the air like 6 months. I said, okay, well, So that 6 months turned into the listeners calling him because at this point, his regular co-host was coming back. And so I said, you know what? I don't want to cause any friction. So I'm just going to step back. It's been a great experience. I've loved it. Always wanted to do this. And so I stepped back. The listeners called in and said, she knows gospel music. She knows what she's talking about. You need to bring her back. So that's how it happened. And then in 2018, when Brother Emmett lost his battle with pancreatic cancer, we had a conversation, I guess about 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, which was one of his final broadcasts. And he said, please keep this going. Mm-hmm. So after he passed in December, the station came to me and they said, hey, we want you to keep this show and we want you to make it your own. So here we are, almost 2018 was when I took almost 10 years later.
Yeah.
And I've been the host of the Gospel Experience.
Praise the Lord for that. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I went back and listened. It lets you go back, so far and listen. And I've enjoyed the music. I love that. I'm kind of a hybrid. I like the new stuff. It's cool, but I'm really old school. And when you mentioned hymns earlier, that just made my heart melt because I love hymns and love to sing them. And usually I'm singing them when I'm by myself, so nobody hears my voice. But I'm so thankful for hymns because just even in life, there's not always an instrument around. There's not always someone that plays the piano or the drums or anything like that. But those old hymns, can certainly get you through. And speaking of, give me 3 of your top 3 favorite hymns.
Great is thy faithfulness.
Okay.
It is well with my soul. And only 3.
You can give me 5. I'll make it a little easy.
No, because see, I can go through the hymn book. Oh, I like that one. I like that one. I like that. And here's the reason why. And I was having this conversation with someone else a couple of weeks ago, and it was about the difference between hymns and new contemporary music. And why is it that the hymns are still here, but with contemporary music, it's kind of here and then it's gone? Mm-hmm. And I said, because in my opinion, now this is just Ms. April's opinion, it is because the writers of the hymns were telling a story. Each verse was a story. Mm-hmm. And people remember stories. And there are stories for every situation in life, which is how hymns become favorites of people. It is because they can link a life experience with a story. Mm-hmm. I am cautioned to say that some of the new songwriters, I don't think dig deep enough to develop the stories. I think they're more interested in a hit, which is how sometimes we end up with what Dr. Margaret Dureau calls 7-11 songs. The same 7 words 11 times, and you modulate. Where's the message? how is that helping somebody? Um, where, but with a hymn, every verse tells a story.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. That's amazing. The soul, and feeding it, and hymns definitely do that. And I've kind of put it down, but I had started reading my red Baptist hymnal,
I
just kind
have
of
it.
devotionally, just
Yeah.
kind of reading it
Huh.
devotionally, and it was kind of recommended by a preaching friend of mine, to just read the hymnal, to just because like you said, it's a story,
Yeah.
and I don't always know what key it is. If there's three little cliff notes up in there, what key that's in, but the words, the
Yes.
words, and I do love when I go to church and I hear not just the chorus that we sing over and over again, but the actual
Hmm.
words of because they do have meaning, and some of them are just beautifully,
Yeah.
beautifully poetic and
Yes.
wonderfully written, and it is it is a joy to sing hymns and to see. I asked my son, I said, "Do you know how to sing a hymn?" He's 17, my youngest, and he said, "Huh? What?"
What is that?
You're right, and you know what? That's my fault. That's
Mm.
I blame me for him not knowing how to at least sing "I love the Lord, He heard my cry,"
Which
and
is a metered hymn.
a metered hymn, right, right.
Hmm.
It's a metered hymn. And so my dad would impart those into me. He was a deacon in the church, and we, be fishing or whatever, and he'd teach me how to sing a hymn and make me sing while we were out there underneath the moon. And so
Wow.
those things, when life hit hard, at times in life, sometimes those are the only things you got.
Yeah.
I can't call a professional musician to play it for me. So to sing those old metered hymns, they're down in me.
Father,
And
I stretch my hands to thee.
yes, yes,
No other help I know. And
that's
if
right.
thou withdraw thyself from thee, where
Where
am I going?
where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? We standing out on the corner like somebody waiting on an Uber and just lost. Just don't know which
Yes.
just don't know which way to go. So thank you so much for sharing that personal experience. And I want to ask you too, where do you see yourself going in the next few years? How long is there another play? Is there another musical review inside of April, or is it something else? Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a stage play. What else do you have brewing inside of you?
I have a documentary brewing.
Okay.
That has been an idea that was given to me, and it takes the music review and then turns it into a documentary that becomes a teaching tool. And one of the things that my family and, we're educators.
Mhm.
And so that component not only is a part of what happens with the music review, it also happens on KPFA because the station is an educational station.
Mhm.
So, in keeping with that, I educate people on the songwriters, the person who recorded the song, a little background about them. So, I see that coming, and we'll see. I'm open to all of the possibilities that my philosophy is if God keeps opening the door, I'm going to keep walking through.
Amen. Amen. So you talk about songs and knowing the history and the background about songs. I mean, we have, I guess, Google. I remember growing up when we get the tape and you unfold the tape and it had the lyrics and it
Yeah.
had who wrote it, who produced it, or my parents had the old album. Oh,
Yeah.
and you could read about that. That doesn't happen. I mean, I listen to, my music, I listen to it through YouTube. And so
Mhm.
that doesn't always give me who the writer was or who produced it. So, what do you recommend to kind of educate, to be educated on certainly gospel music and in that way? How would we find out?
Oh, I want to help. I want to help out on this one too. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I want to jump on with this one as well.
yeah, yeah.
Because
How do we find out who
we got to
wrote
talk about
this?
Thomas A. Dorsey. We just can't have April right on the show and not talk about Thomas A. Dorsey, who is the
Well,
father of gospel.
the modern gospel music. Yes.
Yes.
So, for a lot of the new music, I rely on some of the information that comes from the record company, or I will try to find their webpage to get information. Some information you can get through Wikipedia. Some of it may be accurate, some of it may not. But for some of the older artists, now I understand what you mean by peeling back that plastic. I miss those liner notes. Because I want to know who was the pianist, who played organ, who was on drums, who actually wrote the song. So I miss those liner notes from the new music. And with the digital streaming, they don't always add that. You can go to allmusic.com, put in the song, and it will typically tell you who the writer was, who were the musicians that participated on that recording. So allmusic.com is also a good resource for that.
Okay. Oh wow. On music, on music.
ALL.
All music. Okay, gotcha. Allmusic.com.
Right.
Certainly we'll look that up.
Well,
Pastor Fisher, go ahead.
I was just saying, when you guys were talking about these hymns, when you think about the life of Thomas Dorsey, when he wrote "Precious Lord, Take My Hand, Lead Me On," his wife had died in childbirth,
And the baby died as
and then,
well.
and then the baby was a son who died a few days later afterwards, and it was so crushing for him that he penned these words. He emptied himself
Yeah.
and into God, and that was his only resource, and he came to understand that. And many of these songs have that history behind it. That we only hear the even the, and I'm glad. I'm a pastor, but I understand the blues. And when we go see April's show and music review coming up, the first night of that is going to be Saturday, July. Let me make sure I got that right.
25th.
25th.
Saturday.
7 p.m. At the Lesher Theater in Walnut Creek. When
3
we're there,
o'clock. 3 o'clock.
3 p.m. I'll be there. I got my ticket. I'm ready.
Thank you.
And those tickets, you can get those at MsApril.com. I think that'll direct you to some resources to get it. And what's the other one, April?
You can go to the Lesher Center for the Arts directly to their box off or to their event page and look for July 25th, and you'll be able to go online directly to purchase them there. Or you can go to or call the box office, and they will be able to help you on Wednesday through Saturday. Oh no, Sunday from noon until 6:00 p.m. You can call the box office.
And
real quick,
Okay.
before. So, Miss April, I was on event tickets. I was looking to purchase a ticket, and the website took me to event tickets, and it has your show, and they are charging $137 each for the ticket, and it is and I said that doesn't sound right.
Nope.
So yes, so
That's a scam. I don't know who they are.
Tell us the price.
Give me that information.
I definitely will.
And I am going to I'm getting my pencil paper right now. And you said it was event tickets?
Eventticketscenter.com, and it has chicken, chitlins, and caviar at the
she's going to become a sleuth now and a detective.
I thought maybe I hit multiple tickets, and no, it has right there orchestra, row J, seat $137 each.
Nope.
And I said, man, that doesn't sound right. So I didn't. And thank God I didn't. And I was on the phone with a pastor friend of mine, and he said, man, they must be serving dinner.
Now here's the thing. Now that you mention that, people always ask, so you guys having dinner? Even though it's called chicken, chitlins, and caviar, we are not serving chicken, chitlins, nor caviar.
That is funny.
Thank
That
you
is
for
so
clarifying.
funny.
So I did go on your website, Ms. April, and found the correct price for the tickets. And so
Correct.
I was like, okay, thank you that I did not purchase on the other website. So yeah,
Yeah.
check that out. Not sure what that is, but that definitely didn't sound right. And so
Yeah.
don't want anyone out there, you know, purchasing tickets, buying 4 tickets when they only taking 2 people.
Right. And the cost, I don't know, can you mention price on your broadcast?
Sure.
Okay, so the tickets are $60. If you have 10 or more people, they are $50. And we've encouraged, there are several groups, there's a couple of senior centers who are bringing 15, 20 people. And so they've made it a fundraiser. So they sell the tickets for the 60 and they use the $10 for their treasury or whatever. But 10 people or more, it's $50. 10 or less, it is, or 9 or less is $60, and students are $40.
I did see on there that there's a part where you can donate an additional. There was, can you talk about what that donation, that was the thing I didn't understand, where that donation is going to. And that was above and beyond what the ticket price, like you said, was 60. Then there was a little box up underneath.
No, that's something for the Leisure Center.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Because the Leisure Center is run by the city of Walnut Creek, and it is a nonprofit organization as well. So that's what that donate is.
And did you see
Now,
did you see the VIP button, Chris, where after the show, if you go ahead and if you give $75, you get the VIP tour and the signature and all that?
Really?
Where'd you see that?
Yeah, I didn't. That was just a joke. I thought I'd throw it.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness. It's so,
Okay.
it's
That's
so
right.
funny. I've got a buddy of mine. I've got a pastor friend of mine, Miss April, and please excuse me, but he has a big crush on you, and he's on tonight. He is on probably on our YouTube, and so by saying that, I'm glad you clarified, Pastor Fisher, because he probably would go right on and look for
And get the VIP ticket, huh? Okay.
Well,
VIP
let me help you and the rest of your viewership. So one of the things that is unique to our show, and we borrow it from community theater. Once the show is over, we go out into the lobby and we take pictures with people. We allow people to take pictures of us. We sign programs. We mingle and fellowship with the people who've come to the show. So you don't need to pay extra for that. We will just give us about 10, 15 minutes, to kind of calm down a little bit and put on some flats. And then we'll come on out to the lobby and we will hug your neck, take pictures with you, all of that.
So everybody's a VIP.
Everyone is
There
a
we go.
VIP.
Yes.
Because we know that people have a choice of where they spend their money and their time. And we are grateful that they will spend their money to come and see this show. And so that's the least we can do.
Wonderful. Pastor Fisher, you got anything else? I got a couple more, but go ahead.
We were talking about Thomas Dorsey, and we were, just saying, and some of the great people that have come along. April, who inspired you? I mean, I know I saw you singing back when I was a teenager, and who were your inspirations? Walter Hawkins was one of mine. So who was yours?
Yeah. You mean locally or just in general?
I mean, for singing.
Because I had
Who did you get in the mirror and want to
for
sing like?
singing
Who did you want to sing like? Who did you?
Tremaine Hawkins.
Ooh, day is almost night. You know, that's the song I came through on. I don't want to lose this
A
fight. That's,
change, oh change has come over
aha.
me.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
I want to get baptized all over again.
So she was in gospel. She was her Verlin Sandals was one of my idols, and to get to work with her was
Wow.
like a dream come true.
I knew Verlin, yeah.
Nancy Wilson is my all-time favorite.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Now, fancy, you talking about fancy Miss Nancy.
Nancy Wilson.
You talking about
Guess who I saw today?
When Sunny is Blue?
Mm,
Uh-huh. I love Nancy Wilson. Love Nancy Wilson.
yeah.
So in that time, you had secular like Nancy Wilson, and you had gospel artists like Mahalia or others, and you were singing in the North Richmond Missionary Baptist Church Choir. Can you talk about, your ear for music and how you came to produce your own music in your album? You got a beautiful CD where you're wearing green on it. I think you're wearing green on the
Correct.
front cover of that.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us how you came about as a, and developed as a musician and a singer and an actual artist who's got a CD music out there. And
I don't know. I'm trying to encapsulate that story.
well, I started sitting on my grandmother's lap at age, I might have been 2, and she was sitting on the piano. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where all this for me. What's that like for you?
So I grew up in a house where both my parents were musicians. And so we had music all of the time. My parents woke us up in the morning to go to school. They woke us up with music. We didn't have alarm clocks. So we woke up to music like Rodgers and Hammerstein, The Sound of Music. We woke up to that. And then they played everything. There was blues, there was R&B, there was soul music. Of course, there was gospel, there was jazz. We had everything in the house. So music has been a part of my life since I was thought of. So growing up in the church, it cultivated, so I learned to read music in the church. That hymn book, following those notes, learning how to, learning pitches and keys and how to follow the music. Learning how to read an anthem will teach you how to read music. I grew up in a church that did every genre of gospel music and did it every Sunday.
Yeah.
Brother Jacob Keith would do those metered hymns.
Yeah.
Deacon Adele Lee would do the traditional hymns. Sister Alice Newsom, who was the pastor's wife, she was a music teacher. We learned hymns, we learned anthems, and we did them all well. And then the gospel chorus did all of the new gospel music. That was around the 60s, the 70s when I was coming up. And so James Cleveland and that whole mass choir movement was starting as I was coming of age. And I distinctly remember being about six years old when I knew I wanted to be a Christian. At 8, that was when I knew music was going to be my life. I was
How did you know
on the
that?
junior usher. I was on the junior usher board in my cute little uniform. And it was Youth Sunday, and they had put me out on aisle 3, the middle aisle.
Mm.
The choir had got up to sing, and the ushers had given the signal for me to come off the floor, and I'm like mouth wide open. The music had captured me. At that moment, I knew music was what I wanted to do. And then from there, just singing in the choir, I started directing choirs when I was about 16. I was over the church's music department at 18. Went away to college, Jackson State University, go Tigers. And um, still, music was the constant in my life.
Do you remember your first solo in
doing the
church?
CD, I do.
What was it?
I was, how old was I when I got the first? I think I was 13, 14 when I got the first official solo. And the song was something about God has me in the palm of his hand.
All right.
And yeah, so from there, music has carried me through some of the most wonderful times of my life. And music has been there to carry me through some of the most horrific times of my life.
Yeah.
Wow. I've got it. Miss April,
Mhm.
so you're going forward. What do you want people to remember when we go see this play? When I leave there, before I come in, I got, what to expect. But what do you want me to leave with on my heart? What do you want me to do when I leave there? Leave the play.
When you leave this show,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to have been encouraged and inspired. And I want you to know that irrespective of what happens to you in your life, that God is in control and he's got you.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Always need to be encouraged. And it sounds like God has always had you in some kind of leadership role. You were talking
Yeah.
about, in North Richmond, leading the choir, being on the, junior usher board and kind of being over the music department and being being an executive and those things. Those are leadership roles and, host of a radio show. And, did you see that for yourself? What was your childhood
Oh,
dream? What
no.
did you want to be when you was a little girl?
I honestly wanted to be an attorney,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it is a testament to the will and the power of God, because as I previously mentioned, I'm an introvert.
Mhm.
My giftings force me into the public. So it is, I can be in a crowd of people and I'm over there in the corner somewhere, just, happy, me, myself, and I. And a lot of times, just being a bit transparent, people have thought that maybe I was stuck up or I thought I was better than. No, I'm a shy person and it takes me a minute to warm up, sometimes. So, what I am doing now is only because of God.
Mm.
I am not that extroverted person that is always, boisterous and, that kind of thing. So, um, being in leadership, I've being in leadership in church has helped me throughout my corporate career. You learn how to negotiate and you learn how to talk to different levels of authority. And yeah, Everything that I am doing now is as a result of my foundation in church.
Wow. So many people need to hear that and need to understand that. And my son is an aspiring actor. He's done things at Contra Costa College stage plays, and
Mhm.
very, very encouraging to go see him do those kind of things. And I was letting him know that you're going to be on, and hopefully he can come with me to the play, so he can see that. And he's grown, but I'm trying to get him to understand that the doors can be open to you if you put God first and being in church, and that you have something to offer, and that God has something to not only to pour into you, but also to allow you to pour out of you into others. And so how would someone know somebody that's trying to break into this? What would you tell them? How does someone? What if I decide I want to be the I don't know, the man in your next music review? I want to be a character in there. How would you go about saying, "Hey, I want to try that. Hey, I thought about that." What do you recommend?
So for my show, we have we don't really have an open casting call, but I see and meet people all the time. And if I have a space open, we'll bring you in, do a quick little interview. You don't necessarily have to have all the experience in the world. I didn't when I first started. I got started in theater on a dare.
Mm,
And we teach as we go,
mhm.
which is a part of, we've just been given our nonprofit. So Symphony Enterprises is now an educational arts organization. And so we bring young people in. If you want to learn how to dance, the choreographer that we have, Christopher Frazier, he's worked with the Ailey Camp. He has done work with the Lion King, with Disney. And so we meet people where they are and we give them the tools to help them to the next level. So for me, it's about teaching the next generation. And if it only means that I only have space for you to be a grip or to be a stagehand, if you're willing to learn, we're willing to teach you.
Wow, that's great. You don't find that every place, and the Bay Area is so rich with man, gospel music, actors, athletes, and all of those things.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you stayed in the Bay Area. I'm glad you're here. Glad you grew up here, man. The Bay. I'm finding out, and through our Friday night talks and interviewing people like yourself, that the Bay Area is so rich. And I am, I guess part of me and has always wanted to tell other people's stories and to encourage and to let people know. And man, I don't think I really have to go far to find people and to find encouraging stories and to find
Mhm.
encouraging things that God is doing in people's lives. Definitely right here in the Bay Area. And I, sir, appreciate you. I thank you for your time. I am so sorry about my technical difficulties, but thank God for my co-host. He always got a ram in the bush,
You
and
know, technology is great when it works.
when it works. And I'm like,
Hey,
I'm blaming somebody. I know somebody came in here and touched something. No, somebody did that. Yeah, it was
oh
me.
man.
I'm the
Hey,
person who came in and touched something.
April, is there something in the show is there anything you can leak out and tell us that we should be looking for? Any special moments in the show that or are you going to keep that a secret?
Well, I'll tell you. So let me just tell you who's in the show.
Oh,
How
good.
about that?
Yes.
So our principal vocalist this year is Bay Area's own Nate, the soul singer. She is the new addition to the ladies of Chicken Chitlins and Caviar. And then we have Kathy Mills, who is returning. This is going to be her third show with us. And then our gentleman who is returning is Gerald Strotter.
Hmm.
All of these people are recording artists. Our choreographer, Christopher Frazier, he is out of Hollywood. He actually happens to be my cousin, but he is Ailey Camp trained and has a bachelor's in fine arts. And he's our choreographer and one of our dancers. Our background vocalists are Brown Sturgis and Brown. This is their third year with us. It is Nona Brown, Patrick Sturgis, Mark Brown, and they are actually releasing their brand new CD on July the 11th over at the Love Center Church. They are our background vocalists. Our musical director is Brother Kenneth Little. He's a Bay Area musician. And of course, Ms. April, I'm one of the principal singers. And then some of our dancers this year are coming from the Allen Temple Church. So we've got a lot of talent.
Who's on bass? Who's the bass player? Who's the bass player in the music?
I believe the bass player is Timothy Taylor.
Okay, all right.
How long?
Yeah.
Oh, about.
So, go ahead.
Oh, about how long is the show?
It's a 90-minute
Oh,
show
yeah.
with the intermission. We have 2 acts. The first set of the show, we begin the show with Jesus, we end the show with Jesus. So this year we have revamped the whole entire show. And we are actually going to be starting on the mother continent of Africa. So the show will open with a Ghanaian village. So you can look forward to that. And then by popular demand, we have redone the beauty salon scene. So the beauty salon scene in Act 2 is coming back. And we will be talking about the Harlem numbers game.
Oh, so that's something. Okay, so you tipped your hand a little bit. Thank you. We wanted a little
Teaser.
insight, a little teaser. Yes, something provocative.
Yeah, and we want, that's a part of how we educate. The 2 of the characters that we are going to be portraying is going to be a lady by the name of Stephanie St. Clair, nicknamed Queenie, and Ellsworth Raymond Bumpy Johnson.
Oh, okay, those are real people.
Those are real people.
Yes, Bumpy, for sure.
Yeah.
Miss April, what shows or your next show? What do you go watch? What is your go-to? What kind of show do you like to go see? And which one? Is there one out right now that of course your show is what you recommend, but what is April going to go see to go relax, be encouraged?
There's so much out there now. I honestly do not know what I'm going to go and see next. I love live theater.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it because you have to be present in the moment, every moment you are on stage. And some of the most interesting and wonderful things happen on stage that are unscripted. So I love live theater.
Fantastic. All right, Pastor Fisher, you got anything else?
I'm good. This has been great.
I could keep on going with Miss April. I really, really appreciate you. And let me just tell you, I haven't met you, but you have been an encouragement to me, especially even in the radio. I know that in this age, and I started out when I got out of high school, wanted to do radio, wanted to do communications and stuff like that. So just life happens, family and all of that. And I still want to do that. So you are an encouragement. When Pastor Fisher told me, yeah, she has a radio, man, I immediately went and started listening and been listening. And so
Wow.
I thank you for being an encouragement to me to want to get in that space, and also to continue to want to tell people's story. want to
Hmm.
tell people stories. So I really
Well,
thank God for
I'm
you.
always looking to, I've been looking at bringing in a co-host for the show. And the biggest issue I've had is somebody who's willing to come in consistently at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh man, you if you knew my work schedule, 6 o'clock, I'm taking my break. I'm going to lunch at 6 o'clock in the morning. I,
We
I,
may need to talk then.
we will talk definitely. I will definitely reach out to you for that and praise the Lord and just things like that is whether it works or doesn't work. Man, I thank God for you for mentioning prayer. Prayer is one of the things that I don't know how to sing. I certainly can't dance, but I certainly think that I can pray. That's all I have to really hang my hat on, and it has certainly been the most valuable tool, the most valuable resource, the most valuable life jacket in my life,
Yeah.
and I thank you for that. Thank you for you didn't rely, you didn't. I mean, you mentioned going to school, but you didn't mention anything about relying on your gifts and your talents. You mentioned relying upon the Lord. And I thank you for that, for putting God first. And I hope that everyone out there has heard that and hope it resonates with them as it resonates with me. You talked about the show is going to be, the review is going to be encouraging and motivating for us. I'm already, my cup runneth over already. So I'm bringing some people with. We're going to bring some take home plates to the show. And so I'm going Sunday. I'm going Sunday at 3 o'clock. I'll be there
Ooh, be
for Sunday
ready.
show.
Be
All right.
ready.
All
That's
right.
all I got to say is be
Pastor Fisher, you
ready.
might have to change your tickets to Sunday.
No, I gotta be there on Saturday because yes, I'm looking forward to it. I am so looking forward to it.
Yes, indeed. Well, Miss April, is there anything that you would like? We're going to give you the last word. Anything you want to say to our viewers out there? Um, I'm gonna give you the floor, and I just want to say thank you to everyone
Oh,
for tuning in, and for hopefully people go back and watch it. Definitely going to promote this episode as well as others. But I really want to tell you, I really appreciate you for saying yes, and I am going to give you the floor and let you close us out
oh,
the show.
thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity to speak to you all. I just, as I shouldn't say Dwayne, but as Pastor Fisher has said, we've known each other for quite a few decades. But what I also want the audience and any aspiring artists to know, do not underestimate the power of volunteering. A lot of the opportunities that I've been given have come as a result of volunteering. So if you have an opportunity, somebody says, we've got this thing, but we may not have any money. Can you? That's experience for a resume. So don't underestimate the power of volunteering. It's not always about money. The other thing I will say is follow your dreams, cover them in prayer, and be careful who you talk to about your dreams,
Mm.
because everybody who says they're with you is not necessarily with you.
Oh yeah, well said.
We're gonna have to have a part two, Miss April. You're gonna have to come back. We got to come back
I
sometime.
would love to. I would love to.
Thank you, and look
So
for my
come on
phone call
out
too.
for chicken, chitlins, and caviar, the Lesher Center for the Arts, 1601 Civic Drive in Walnut Creek, July 25th and 26th. Both shows are at 3 o'clock p.m. They are matinees. Come, be prepared to laugh, to cry, to sing along, to dance, and to have an awesome time.
Thanks again,
Thank you.
and looking forward to talking to you too, Miss April.
Yes, please. Have a great evening.